Now, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge is a 1985 movie that tells the story of a teenage boy who is haunted in his dreams by deceased child murderer Freddy Krueger, who is out to possess him in order to continue his reign of terror in the real world. So, why should you watch this movie? Reason number one, a possession movie. Now, in 1985, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, this movie breaks the previous rules of the first installment, which chronicles the lives of teenagers who must stay awake to keep from dreaming and dying in both their sleep and in the real world. Now, in this movie, there's very little dreaming and people dying in their dreams. Instead, Freddy possesses our main character Jesse in his dreams to do his bidding in the real world. Reason number two, who's the killer? Now, in this movie, there will always be times where you don't know who's doing the killing. Is Freddy possessing Jesse? Is Jesse doing the killing himself? Are the on-screen characters seeing Freddy or are they seeing Jesse? Trust me, there are scenes and lines said in this movie where you will wonder who are the victims seeing as they're being killed. And that sort of ambiguity is what makes this installment stands out. Reason number three, barely a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Yes, this movie is hard to be considered a nightmare movie because very little in this movie connects the first from the rest of the series. I mean, no one dies in their dreams. Freddy may or may not be seen on screen to the characters, and the only thing that connects this installment with the first is that our main character Jesse is in the old Thompson house and he finds Nancy's diary before she was committed to a mental institution. And to be completely honest, this movie might be a dream and only exists in either the character's Jesse's mind or the filmmaker. Reason number four, failure to world build. Now, in most horror movie franchises, world building is important. Nightmare 2 is a failure that was mistakenly seen as genius. Now, granted, I like this movie, but this movie often gets the reputation for being smart and trying new stuff. But this movie's lore was so terrible that none of the lore stuck. It wasn't some pro-gay subtext or a unique spin of the franchise. This movie attempted to give Freddy a new power and messed it up completely. It's a reason we never see Freddy possess another person anywhere in the franchise. And it's a reason why Part 2's lore is often skipped and retconned. It's just through revisionist history, we've tried to remember this movie with rose-colored glasses. Even with its failed lore, I gotta admit, this movie is still entertaining. Reason number five, ride or die. Now, this movie in a nutshell is a love story. Lisa loved Jesse no matter what. Now let's do a tally. He routinely cut her off at second and third base. He teased her the entire movie, told her that he killed his coach. She loved him even more. He told her that he killed his best friend. And even when he was bloody and holding a murder weapon, she loved him even more. She saw him butcher his friends at a pool party. Still, she never gave up. And in the end, he was bearing down on her to kill her. And what did she do? Confesses her love for him, even in the face of certain death. What does all this mean? Fellas, make sure you get yourself a Lisa. Now, in the end, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge was a happy accident. It was poorly written and crafted, but the acting was so good and the general concept was weird enough to keep us entertained and become a cult favorite amongst fans. It's sort of like hosting a party that got out of hand, but you enjoyed it and said, hey, let's not do this anymore, but we'll remember it for the rest of our lives because it was so wild. And I think that is the best way to describe A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I'm going to go ahead and recommend this because it's so bad, it's good. Now, this video is sponsored by my Patreon supporters. Thank you for your support and God bless. And until next time, when said talks horror. The Rewind is our exclusive membership section, and by joining the Rewind, you'll receive exclusive content not found anywhere else. You'll receive early releases, video shoutouts, behind the scenes footage and photos, unreleased and unedited kill scenes that we can't show you on YouTube, plus special commentary from yours truly, CEDtalks. So join the Rewind today by clicking the link in the descriptions and in the pinned comments.